My name is Daniel Mercer, and I don't expect anyone to believe me. I wouldn't believe me if I hadn't lived it. But after what I've seen, staying silent feels worse than the risk of being labeled a lunatic. It started with the drones. Like everyone else in New Jersey, I'd heard the stories. Strange, silent machines gliding over restricted airspace, hovering over neighborhoods, vanishing without a trace. Most people treated it like a curiosity, some unsolved puzzle for the feds to handle. But I'm not most people. I'm an investigative journalist. Or at least I was before I burned every bridge chasing this story. The first sighting I looked into was at a stretch of farmland near Bedminster. Locals claimed they'd seen a formation of lights moving in perfect synchronization over a cornfield. The farmer, a grizzled man named Hank, swore he found his livestock acting skittish the next morning, some of them refusing to eat. He mentioned finding strange patterns in the soil, circles of fine ash that shouldn't have been there. He wouldn't let me take a sample, said the last guy who tried didn't come back. I thought he was drunk or paranoid. I laughed it off, but my hand shook as I drove away. The deeper I dug, the stranger things got. People, sensible people, not just conspiracy theorists, talked about hearing low-frequency hums at night, the kind that made their teeth ache and their vision blur. Some claimed their electronics went haywire, phones resetting, TVs glitching. One woman showed me footage she'd captured on her home security camera, a drone, or something like it, hovering outside her window at 3 a.m. It had no visible rotors, no blinking lights, just a dark matte surface that seemed to drink in the moonlight. The footage cut off abruptly, her system fried. She moved out the next week. I'd already sunk too much time into this story when I received the email. The subject line read, "You want answers? Meet me." The sender was anonymous, the message a single sentence with GPS coordinates attached. Rationally, I should have ignored it, but the coordinates were close. An abandoned industrial park just outside Newark. I grabbed my camera, a flashlight, and a knife, just in case. The park was a wasteland of rusted fences and graffiti-tagged walls. I arrived at the coordinates to find an old maintenance building, its windows shattered, the door ajar. Inside, the air smelled like mildew and burnt plastic. A single fluorescent light buzzed overhead, casting flickering shadows. At the center of the room was a laptop on a folding table, its screen glowing with a live feed. The footage showed a massive hangar filled with rows of drones, their surfaces smooth and featureless. People in lab coats moved between them, attaching devices to their undersides. The angle suggested a security camera, but the timestamp was blank. Before I could process what I was seeing, a voice crackled through the unseen speakers.
Mr. Mercer, you've been asking the wrong questions.
I froze. The voice was calm, deliberate, and genderless, distorted beyond recognition.
You think this is about surveillance, about government experiments. It's bigger than that. Much bigger.
The feed on the laptop switched to an outdoor scene. A drone hovered above a city street at night. Pedestrians walked beneath it, oblivious. Then the drone emitted a pulse, a ripple of distortion that bent the air like heat waves. The camera view shifted, zooming in on the drone's surface. For a brief moment, a shape emerged, not mechanical, but organic, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. It disappeared as quickly as it came, leaving only questions in its wake. "What are they?" I asked, my voice cracking. No answer. The footage ended. The laptop shut off. The light above me flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. I stumbled backwards, fumbling for my flashlight when I heard it. A low, thrumming hum that vibrated in my chest. It grew louder, closer, until it felt like my skull would crack. I ran. Outside, the night was eerily still. No wind, no crickets, just the hum. I looked up and saw them. A dozen drones, their dark forms silhouetted against the stars. They descended slowly, surrounding me. My flashlight flickered and went out. The hum intensified, a pressure in my ears, my teeth, my very bones. I fell to my knees, clutching my head, and then, nothing. I woke up hours later, lying in a field miles from the industrial park. My camera and knife were gone, but something else was there, a small metallic object clutched in my hand, warm to the touch. It was a component, sleek and otherworldly, clearly broken off from one of the drones. But what made my blood run cold wasn't the object itself. It was what I saw when I held it up to the light. My own reflection, but not quite right. In the mirror-like surface, my eyes glowed with the same pulsing pattern I'd seen on the drone. I drove home in a panic, the component hidden in my jacket pocket. My editor didn't just stare at me like I'd lost my mind when I tried to tell him. He looked straight through me, as if I wasn't there at all. The maintenance building was still standing, not leveled as others claimed, but no one else could see it. I watched as people walked right past it, their eyes sliding off the structure like water off glass. Hank's farm wasn't abandoned, it was transformed. Where others saw empty fields, I saw vast underground structures pulsing with that same organic energy, visible only through the strange new perception the component had given me. The truth hit me like a physical blow. The drones weren't watching us or waiting for something to arrive. They were building something, right under our feet, using our blind spots, our cognitive limitations, the gaps in our perceptions. And now, thanks to whatever they'd done to me that night, I could see it all. The component in my pocket wasn't a broken piece. It was a key, a gift, an invitation. The drones are everywhere, yes, but they're not what you think. They're not machines or weapons or tools of surveillance. They're windows, portals between what we think is real and what actually exists. I know now because I'm looking through one as I'm saying this. And the truly terrifying part? I'm no longer sure which side I'm on. If you're listening to this, don't make my mistake. Don't go looking for answers, because once you start seeing the truth, you'll realize that reality itself is just a comfortable lie we tell ourselves. And the beings behind the drones, they're not invading our world. They're waking us up to the world that's always been here. If you notice people disappearing lately, walking into spaces that shouldn't exist or staring at empty air with glowing eyes, just keep walking. Those of us who can see, we have work to do, and we're running out of time.